Tonight, road rage shooting.
Where someone's getting a gun out of their vehicle and shooting at the other vehicle.
The violent incident that closed part of the 401 this morning.
But again, this could have resulted in a collision. It could have easily been a fatality.
Near Guelph Line. Demolition done.
You just go around, that's it. Then you just learn to live with it. That's it. That's what everybody has to do, just learn to live with it.
A big shift for drivers in a busy part of Kitchener.
Right now, especially with the winter, it's going to be a nightmare.
On the road to a major highway expansion. No reimbursement.
It ended up costing us $15,000.
Limits on the province's new money.
We wanted to be able to get out there and look at those locations that have the most pressing needs.
To bolster safety outside daycares. Good evening. We begin with what police are calling a case of road rage that escalated overnight on the 401 near Guelph Line. The OPP say a person in a vehicle started shooting at another vehicle. Both were in the westbound lanes heading toward Cambridge. Tonight, investigators are appealing for witnesses. CTV's Heather Centerin joining us now live with more on this story. Heather, by all accounts, certainly a dramatic scene. Thankfully, no injuries here.
Police say it could have been a lot worse, Tony, and could lead to a slew of charges. But investigators still need to find out what kind of car it was and how many people were involved.
A shocking incident in the middle of the night. Shots fired from one vehicle into another on Highway 401.
An escalated violent road rage situation where someone's getting a gun out of their vehicle and shooting at the other vehicle.
This is the victim's vehicle. There are 2 bullet holes near the driver's side door handle, but no one was injured. It happened around 1:30 a.m. Monday in the westbound lanes of the 401 going towards Cambridge. The westbound lanes of the highway between Guelph Line and Highway 6 were closed for several hours for the investigation. Police emphasizing how close a call this was.
This could have resulted in a collision. It could have easily been a fatality. You know, those bullet holes are going right through the driver's door.
OPP say they don't yet know much about the suspect vehicle, but they believe the people in both vehicles didn't have a prior history before the shots went off.
Trying to get to determination of how many people were in that vehicle, how many shooters there were, if there was one or more than one. The vehicle is described as a dark-colored or a dark sedan.
Police say they need witnesses to come forward.
In that area, if you have dash cam, it may have captured the vehicles in question. Maybe not during the exchange, but it would certainly help us identify the vehicle.
There were 2 people in the victim's red Hyundai at the time of the incident.
You know, that's why we need the public's assistance to bring these people to question and to justice.
It's too early to say what kind of charges could be filed in this case, but police say they could involve weapons charges, dangerous behavior, or negligence.
And again, this all unfolded between 1:30 and 1:40 this morning in the westbound lanes near Guelph Line. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Ontario Provincial Police. Tony.
Heather Centerin with the latest on that shooting on the 401. Heather, thank you. And in Waterloo Region, police are investigating a shooting, but they don't know yet where it happened. Police say they were called to a local hospital at around 12:30 this morning after a man arrived with a gunshot wound. The victim, a 22-year-old from Cambridge, is in critical condition. Police hoping witnesses will come forward to help with this investigation. A man from Kitchener is among 13 people facing more than 150 charges in connection with a series of violent crimes across the province and stretching into Quebec. The arrests were made as part of a multi-jurisdictional investigation called Project Wrangler. CTV's Beth McDonnell has more.
Frightened on the floor during a bank robbery, these are just some of the hundreds of victims York Regional Police say were caught up in a terrifying crime spree.
These acts were brazen, they were brutal, and they're completely unacceptable.
Officers allege that for close to a year, from April 2024 to March 2025, a criminal organization was responsible for 16 violent incidents, mostly in southern and eastern Ontario. They range from home invasions, jewelry and cell phone robberies across the GTA, as well as various shootings, including the homicide of a man in Rimouski, Quebec, one inside Silverthorne Collegiate Institute in Etobicoke, and another at London's Victoria Hospital.
Multiple rounds were fired in a public space at the doors of an emergency room while patients
families, hospital staff, and paramedics were only meters away.
Beginning in April, police from multiple agencies banded together to carry out Project Wrangler. By identifying patterns and sharing information over 9 months, they executed 6 search warrants and made 13 arrests, 4 of them boys under the age of 18.
This was not a traditional street gang, but rather a coalition of adult men from different groups and locations who would align themselves for profit-motivated violence.
Police allege the group was motivated by financial gain and say the men also exploited and recruited minors to carry out violence and crime.
It's probably the most disturbing component of this when you're investigating it. You're seeing very impressionable, vulnerable youth being groomed to join this group. Money's a big factor. They're offering them money. 2 suspects are still wanted. 24-year-old Tristan Casanova Allman of no fixed address and 20-year-old Ingram Mohammed of Hamilton.
All right, that report from CTV's Beth McDonnell. Time now for a first look at the weather. Let's head over to Leanne Evans in studio. Good to see you because I feel like I've barely seen you today. We have a lot of Toy Mountain activity we'll get to a little later, but it was a great way to wake up with all that sun today.
Well, all the sun, and you're lucky we had it because temperatures were very chilly.
That's right.
Especially if you were up very early this morning. I don't know what time you woke up.
Definitely not very early.
Okay, definitely not very, very early, but if you were up between the 4 a.m. and 8 o'clock window, you definitely noticed the frigid conditions because we actually broke another overnight low. We've been in that cold snap here locally, but things are going to change over the next couple of days. Snow is going to be what we're focused on in the back half of the week. -7 this hour in Waterloo region. It's -9 through London, -8 in Hamilton. A little bit warmer through the GTA. Wind chill playing a little bit of a factor still tonight. -11 is what it feels closer to. -10 along the shores of Lake Huron as well. Now, as Tony mentioned, plenty of sunshine out there today. It was definitely needed. Nice way to start the week condition-wise because snow is going to be moving in, and it's going to impact us here locally and for many communities across southern Ontario. We'll talk all about that and break down the timing and the full forecast. Tony.
Sounds good, Leanne. Chat soon. Thank you. Okay, next, some developing news we're watching this evening involving the province's Skills Development Fund. The Ontario Provincial Police have announced they'll be launching an investigation into a company connected to that controversial fund. That company is Keel Digital Solutions and its subsidiary Get Ahead. The OPP's anti-rackets branch had been conducting a review, and today they announced they will proceed with a formal investigation. The company has said it believes it is being scapegoated for the problems with the Skills Development Fund, which is a $2.5 billion job training fund that opposition parties at Queen's Park have described as a slush fund for the governing PC party. Ontario's Auditor General has said the choice of recipients for the Skills Development Fund was not transparent, fair, or accountable. Now, for its part, the company says in a statement Keel remains steadfast in its assertion that it has complied with all laws and contract obligations. We welcome the OPP and will be completely transparent and cooperative. We look forward to the government's apology at the end of this, and we remain focused on facilitating mental health supports for the province's most vulnerable communities. Well, the province is investing $20 million to install concrete barriers at childcare centers. It's the result of a toddler being killed after a car crashed into a Richmond Hill daycare earlier this year. But what does the funding mean for centers that have already implemented safety measures? CTV's Spencer Turcott finds out.
A driver crashed through the window of a Richmond Hill daycare in September. Multiple children and adults were hurt. A 17-month-old boy killed. Today, the provincial government took steps to prevent anything like this from happening again.
In Liam's honor, we are investing $20 million to launch the Liam Riazadi Memorial Fund.
Immediately after the crash, Education Minister Paul Colandra ordered daycare operators to close parking spaces in front of vulnerable doors and windows. The director at St. John's Christian Nursery School in Waterloo wasted no time.
Our playground is very vulnerable, being in the middle of a parking lot.
The program announced today will have childcare centers apply in the new year to get access to temporary concrete barriers from a pre-approved vendor.
Community-based childcare operators will be able to access a simple application process that will make it easy for them to arrange the delivery and installation of the barriers that will be supplied free of charge.
But what about daycare operators like St. John's Nursery School who installed barriers right away?
It ended up costing us $15,000. Kind of wondering if there will be some funding for us. Is the barrier that we put in, is that okay? Is an allowable one?
In a memo to daycare operators from the province obtained by CTV News, it seems like they may be out of luck, at least for now. The initiative is focused on centres that have not yet been able to install safety barriers, the memo reads in part, and for centres that already have safety barriers in place, related expenses will not be reimbursed.
$20 million really is a start. We wanted to be able to get out there and look at those locations that have the most pressing needs.
This has been portrayed as a temporary fix. The government is open to adding more funding while they look at other options that may be more permanent, like bollards. But at St. John's Nursery School, the concrete slabs seem to be working.
We actually have had a few cars actually hit, not on an impact, but they've kind of come into the parking lot a little bit fast and have hit the barrier. So it does show that added protection.
Provincial consultations on the concrete barriers are expected to take a few months with legislation to follow. Spencer Turcott, CTV News, Waterloo.
Get ready to see Air Transat grounded, with pilots primed to walk off the job as early as Wednesday morning after their union issued a 3-day strike notice. The airline says that day flights are still operating as planned. CTV's Heather Wright now on the last-minute negotiations to avoid travel turbulence.
Travelers at Toronto's Pearson Airport checked into their flights this afternoon with an added bit of uncertainty.
A little bit nervous, but I'm hoping everything will be okay and we'll be home next Monday.
The union representing Air Transat's pilots has issued a 72-hour strike notice, with pilots poised to walk off the job early Wednesday morning if an agreement is not reached.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not really much we can do about it.
In anticipation of a strike, Air Transat has begun bringing its passengers back home. The airline says flights have been operating as usual today, but it's not clear whether flights will be canceled Tuesday, which the airline had said was possible. The two sides have been in negotiations for nearly a year, and experts say the timing of this strike notice is no accident.
They're doing this because this is the period of time where Transat is making its most money. It's the busiest time of the year for Transat. Planes are full, fares are high.
The two sides remain at the bargaining table, with ALPA, the Airline Pilots Association that represents the 700 Air Transat pilots, saying in a statement, while some progress has been made, there is still work to do. We are working tirelessly to reach an agreement that achieves the collective priorities of our group. Air Transat says it has offered its pilots wage increases of 59% over the next 5 years, a number the union has called creative accounting. The union's demands are considered unreasonable, and its premature actions carry serious consequences for customers, the company, and its 4,300 other employees. Air Transat has struggled financially over the last several years and has not turned an annual profit since 2018.
Asked last week if the federal government would intervene if Air Transat pilots hit the picket line, Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu declined to answer, calling the question hypothetical. Ottawa did get involved in August when Air Canada flight attendants went on strike. A back-to-work order the union ignored. Heather Wright, CTV News, Mississauga, Ontario.
A major shift today for drivers in a busy part of Kitchener. The Frederick Street Bridge is no more, removed over the weekend. This is all part of the province's plan to build and expand Highway 7 between Kitchener and Guelph. Let's go to CTV's Karis Map now for more on this big change. Karis, you stopped by where the bridge used to stand earlier today. Certainly a different look around that area now.
Absolutely, Tony. And you know, I knew it was coming, but to actually see the bridge completely gone is a sight that I'll need to get used to. Many drivers in the area were making U-turns once they realized the road closure, also becoming more familiar with the detours that will be in place for a while.
This was the scene Sunday evening. Work well underway to demolish the Frederick Street Bridge. The project shutting down a section of Highway 785 for part of the weekend. The work is a step towards the province's long-standing promise to build a 4-lane highway between Kitchener and Guelph. Ongoing lane restrictions will continue on the highway and a new bridge will be built. But for now, Frederick is closed between Edna and Ann Streets, a road that was part of many drivers' daily commutes.
Every day, back and forth, a couple of times.
Now, the reality of the closure is setting in.
It has impacted me immensely because I normally come from Manitou Drive, so I do not want to get off of the cutoff down there. It's terrible, so I don't go down Cortland.
Still, it's a project some have been waiting for.
For the last few years, since they started talking about Victoria Street, going all the way to Guelph, so and that's the best idea they ever had.
Robert Zarni said he's not bothered by the construction.
You just go around, that's it. Then you just learn to live with it. That's it. That's what everybody has to do, just learn to live with it.
But Catherine Pringle says the detours are already proving to be a hassle.
I have to drive to Guelph in the morning. It has just been an absolute nightmare. It's been so chaotic for those 2 blocks between Edna and Bruce. It's just terrible.
Adding neighboring streets are also feeling the effects.
There's so much congestion. It's like I live off on Lancaster, and it's just like a racetrack right now.
Still, drivers agree the temporary frustration will be worth it in the long run.
Oh, it's going to. I know it will be, but right now, especially with the winter, it's going to be a nightmare.
Way better, way better. Sure, they'll get more traffic through there all the time, eh? And there'll be more traffic coming into Kitchener from Guelph, so you got to get ready.
As for the new Frederick Street Bridge, it is expected to be finished by November 2026, so about a year from now. Tony.
All right, Karis, thank you. CTV's Karis Map joining us live. Sign up for the CTV Kitchener newsletter to stay in the know. We've got the top stories each day, the latest weather forecast, and some must-see videos sent right to your email inbox first thing in the morning. You can sign up over on our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Competing for a spot on the world stage. Coming up, CTV's Colton Weens brings us local connections to this year's training camp roster for the World Juniors.
A couple of Clipper systems are moving in over the next couple of days, with it bringing plenty of snowfall for southern Ontario. We'll break down the timing coming up in the full forecast.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
Canada's national junior team training camp roster for the 2026 IIHF Under-20 World Junior Hockey Championship's been released. Several players with local connections are competing for a spot on that team. Let's bring in CTV's Colton Weens, who had a chance to speak with some of them today. So, Colton, who has been selected?
Well, Tony, Canada is holding its training camp in Niagara Falls this weekend. Cameron Reid is the lone Kitchener Ranger selected to attend, while 3 Brantford Bulldogs have been invited, and Elmira product Brady Martin is also on the list. All competing for a chance to wear the red and white at the World Junior Championship in Minnesota at the end of the month. Hockey Canada has announced its 27-player training camp roster for the 2026 Under-20 World Junior Hockey Championship, who will all compete for a chance to wear the maple leaf in Minnesota at the end of the month.
The results of the past 2 years were front and center, and a priority to get back on track here with our national junior team.
From Elmer, Ontario, and the Kitchener Rangers, Cameron Reid.
Cameron Reid is the only Kitchener Ranger selected to attend. The defenseman from Elmer was drafted by Nashville and has won a gold medal at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup and a gold at the World Under-17 Hockey Challenge. Named captain of the Rangers this season, he's recorded 28 points in 27 games so far.
Ben Danford, who gets on the board?
The Brantford Bulldogs have 3 players heading to Canada's training camp. Defenseman Ben Danford from Maddock, along with forwards Jake O'Brien of Toronto and Jet Lachenko from London. Danford won a silver medal at the World Under-17 Hockey Challenge and a gold at the Hlinka. The Toronto Maple Leafs draft pick was traded from Oshawa to Brantford this season and has 15 points in 22 games across the 2 teams. His teammate, Jake O'Brien, will enter training camp with some international experience as well. The 18-year-old first-round Seattle Kraken draft pick won a gold medal at the Hlinka and was named captain of the Bulldogs this season with 45 points in 26 games so far. Meanwhile, Philadelphia Flyers first-round draft pick Jet Lachenko heads to camp with a gold medal from the Under-18 Worlds, a silver from the World Under-17 Hockey Challenge, and he played for Canada at last year's Under-20 Championship.
There's a track record here of guys producing offensively, whether that's Misa McKenna, a number of 40 goal scorers. So we feel confident in our group. They have a history of production.
Brady Martin from Elmira will also compete for a roster spot with Canada. The 18-year-old first-round Nashville draft pick won gold medals at last year's Hlinka and Under-18 Worlds.
We feel we have good balance throughout the lineup. Special teams will be a factor in that, James. As you know, it's always an important part of the tournament. But we feel good about our group and the offensive production we have with this team.
Now, the Kitchener Rangers are also sending goalie Christian Kirsch to Switzerland's training camp, while Brantford's Vladimir Dravecki, Adam Banak, and Adam Jiricek will head to Czechia training camp. The tournament itself starts on Boxing Day, but one of the tee-up games will be held at the Kitchener Odd, Canada taking on Sweden on Wednesday, December 17th. Tony.
Well, so many local connections. Colton, thank you. CTV's Colton Weens looking ahead to the World Juniors. All right, live look outside now. Uptown Waterloo, the tree is lit. They had the big lighting over the weekend. This is, of course, in the public square in Uptown Waterloo, and the skating rink is now open right at the foot of that tree, so this is going to be a really popular place to spend some winter nights over the next little while, especially leading up to Christmas. Leanne will have a look at our forecast coming up a little bit later. And also coming up, express entry for new doctors. Canada's plan to get more physicians into the country faster. The busiest person in television has taken a moment to join us today.
Thanks. It's been a busy Monday.
It has been a busy Monday, and we're going to get to more of that in just a moment, but it's also been a brighter Monday. Yesterday kind of felt like one of those days in February where you get stuck in a snow globe. It was all blustery and windy and nasty.
Yeah.
So I feel like we earned that sun today.
And hey, we were out there yesterday.
We
Sunday
were out
walk.
there. Yeah, we did a big loop through Waterloo Park yesterday. That's how committed we were to movement.
Yeah, but today, you know what? Nice to see the sunshine. The wind speed's also a little bit more moderate,
Yes.
so it was nice. But like I was saying to you earlier, for anyone who was up early, you really noticed it. We were into the minus 20s.
Yeah, and I kept hearing how cold it was this morning. By the time I went out at noon, it was a lot more bearable.
Yes, it would have been much more bearable by that time of day, because it was really between the 4 and 8 o'clock hour this morning that was very cold. But this live look from Uptown Waterloo, the tree is lit. People are out there skating. Of course, if you're bundled up, it's a pretty good evening to do so as well. But yeah, those overnight lows, that's what we were talking about. We actually reached a record overnight low last night for temperature-wise, minus 22.4. It came around the 5 o'clock hour this morning, and that broke that minus 22.2 record ever so slightly, set back in 1976. So very frigid start to the week. We're usually sitting around minus 7 for the overnight low, so much cooler than what's seasonal for this time of year. Currently in Waterloo region, sitting at minus 8 this hour. It's minus 10 in Hamilton through London as well. Minus 9 in Chatham-Kent. Minus 7 in Windsor. And we're still feeling the wind chill. It feels closer to the minus 13 mark here locally this hour. Minus 12 along the south shores of Lake Huron. Overnight tonight, not quite as cold as what it was last night, but still a little bit chilly. Minus 14. It'll feel closer to minus 20 when we factor in that wind chill. Partly cloudy skies clearing after the midnight hour, making way for that snowfall that will be moving in tomorrow. Also having the chance for some freezing drizzle closer to the midnight mark tomorrow. We'll break all that down in the future cast. Minus 7 the daytime high, feeling closer to minus 18 when we factor in the wind chill when we're waking up in the morning. So you need the toque, you need the gloves, you need the winter coat and the winter boots. Okay, here's how things are looking, because snowfall, that's going to be the story of this week. Some communities really seeing some weak lake effect snow this evening, but nothing too impactful here locally. We'll just notice some cloud cover building up into tomorrow morning. And then you see that clipper system waiting in the wings. That's what's bringing the swath of snow to Waterloo region. By midday tomorrow, we'll be impacted by that. And you can see as that system makes its way east, making way for the second clipper system moving in from the prairies. That is going to affect us by Wednesday morning. Now, temperatures also rising Wednesday. So that's why you see this green and the pink on the map as well, because we have the chance to see the freezing drizzle, also rainfall. So it's probably going to be quite messy by the time we get to Wednesday, but we still have to wait to see how the wind speeds are and which way that system goes. Looking at anywhere from 5 to 15 centimeters of localized accumulation over the next 48 hours. So it's just something we're going to have to watch as those systems continue to move through. Now, here's how things look in the long range. So we talked about Wednesday when temperatures rise above the freezing mark and the chance for that mixed precipitation. By Thursday, -5 will be the daytime high, and that's why we're still seeing that flurry activity moving in as well. Okay, so when we look at the Windsor area, you're actually going to get a chance to see some sunshine through the back half of the week, and temperatures on the rise as well. By Wednesday, 2 degrees will be the daytime high, -7 the overnight low. And in southern Georgian Bay, get set for snowfall in your area. Temperatures on the freezing mark. But yeah, looking at that same 5 to 15 centimeters over the next 48 hours. And here's tonight's Weather Watcher picture from Tamara and Fern. Tamara says the Doggy Snowball Index was extremely high on Sunday, and says that Fern had a fun time rolling around out there in the snow.
Yep, Toy Mountain time once again. We're continuing to build the mountain in studio. We have another generous donation right now. Leanne is standing by at the mountain with some guests. Leanne?
Yeah, Tony, thank you. We are here with Slinger Solutions tonight, and they will be donating a nice monetary donation, which we're going to get to in the next little bit. But first, I want to find out more about who you guys are, what's Slinger Solutions all about.
Hey, thanks for having us. Slinger Solutions, we're a tech company at Kitchener-Waterloo. We provide all sorts of services tech-related to businesses and residential. We do all sorts of stuff with technology. It's awesome.
Okay, fantastic. And you guys are presenting this generous donation, $5,000 in support of Toy Mountain and the Salvation Army. It's going towards families in need this holiday season. Why'd you decide to donate to Toy Mountain?
Well, every year we donate something to a different charity. Last year we saw some, pardon me, another local business. I reached out to them and found out how they did it. And we just think it's really important to give back to the community. And, you know, we're all family members and stuff like that. And we just think it's great. And every kid deserves to wake up to toys on Christmas.
Okay, fantastic. Well, guys, this is going to be a hugely impactful donation to the Salvation Army, to kids in need this holiday season. Thank you so much for coming in the studio. $5,000 from Slinger Solutions to the Salvation Army, making sure all kids in Waterloo region have gifts to open this holiday season. Tony, I know that you and I can both say this is a very generous donation. So guys, thank you so much.
Yep, we've certainly seen the back end of how that all happens, and that's going to go a long way, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by and bringing that donation in. All right, still ahead, we've got this week's edition of Made Right Here, which, yeah, you might say it's going to add a little fizz to our lineup tonight. The sisters who've given a new dimension to soda in Guelph. That's coming up. Well, checking some business news now. It appears the 2 former Hudson Bay stores in Waterloo region have new tenants. At Conestoga Mall in Waterloo, posters are up saying that an urban behavior will open in the space on December the 19th. And the Old Bay sign was coming down today at Fairview Park Mall in Kitchener. The Bay stores shut down in June following weeks of liquidation sales. The clock is ticking for Ingersoll's GM Cami assembly plant and its 1,200 employees. The union says a plan to keep some people working could be revealed this week. CTV's Sean Irvin has more.
It has been a whirlwind for union leaders fighting to secure the future of GM Cami Automotive.
It has been a tough time talking about your plant when so much hangs in the balance,
including the livelihoods of more than 1,000 unionized workers. Next week, they will learn more about future options on the table. The union says the plan will include 26 weeks of pay for those not recalled within the next month. A small number of workers will be retained to monitor the plant. Other options include retirement and severance packages. But perhaps the most significant news from the union is the potential for a new deal to retain more employees. Just how many more is unclear. CTV News reached out to plant chair Mike Van Bokel to learn more, but for now, this is all he has offered publicly to his members.
We are currently in pretty big talks with GM right now that I cannot comment on, but hope to have an announcement hopefully by next week to keep some of our members working.
Workers are being told to make their choice by January 7th. The fast-moving pace matches the current environment of the auto sector, according to a supply chain management expert at the Ivy School of Business. Fraser Johnson is blunt in his assessment.
The trade battle that we're having with the U.S. represents an existential threat to our auto industry in Canada as we know it today.
He concedes it's tough news for CAMI workers and those at supplying plants.
The problem with Ingersoll is that GM is hesitant to make a product allocation decision because they don't know what the future looks like.
Still, Johnson, a self-described optimist, believes GM, Ford, Toyota, and Honda will do everything they can to keep their plants operating in Canada. But there comes a point.
Do you ever see a scenario where they'd mothball this plant and just walk away?
Well, if I could phrase it this way, Sean, I think that General Motors would reluctantly do that if the economics just didn't make sense.
Ultimately, Johnson believes the CAMI plant and its workforce will remain viable after the current period of turmoil passes.
There's no reason why that plant can't be productive and profitable for General Motors, but it's just the economic uncertainty that's creating the problem right now.
Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Canada's immigration minister today said it's all about more hands on deck as she introduced a new express entry category for foreign-trained doctors, desperately needed to address frontline shortages. Let's go to CTV's Mike Couture now to find out more.
Nearly 6 million Canadians do not have a primary care doctor. While the numbers have improved in the last 3 years, the government is trying to keep more physicians in this country.
We need more hands on deck.
In an effort to bolster the number of doctors in this country, the federal government is opening a new system to fast-track permanent residency for doctors who are working in Canada.
Many of these doctors are already treating patients in our communities. We cannot afford to lose them.
The program creates an express entry category for international doctors with at least 1 year Canadian experience in an eligible occupation. The federal government is reserving 5,000 spots for provincially nominated doctors, and those healthcare workers will get expedited 14-day work permit processing. The measures come as a major national survey shows more Canadians have a family doctor or nurse practitioner compared to 3 years ago. 5.9 million Canadians still don't have primary care, but those that do struggle with getting a timely or urgent appointment.
Less than 50% reported being able to get that. So we still have a long way to go in terms of providing timely care and care when people need it, even for those who do have a family doctor.
A past president of the Canadian Medical Association also wants to see logistical barriers moved out of the way.
I want to make sure that we're getting rid of any red tape, any barriers to having physicians moving around the country to help where needs are greatest, for physicians who are coming in from other countries to be able to contribute to the system.
The immigration minister says provinces and territories will be able to start nominating physicians for the Express Entry program in early 2026. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
All right, Ashley Bacon in studio with a look at our top stories tonight. And let's start with that big shift in Kitchener for drivers along Frederick Street. No more bridge over the expressway.
That's right, Tony. The Frederick Street Bridge officially came down this weekend, making way for the province's plan to expand Highway 7. Frederick will remain closed between Ann and Edna Streets until November next year, giving commuters plenty of time to find alternate routes. Some drivers say they're still adjusting to the change. A possible road rage shooting near Milton early this morning shut down a section of the 401. Police released images images of the victim's vehicle. The westbound lanes of the 401 were shut down between Guelph Line and Highway 6 South for several hours this morning as police investigated. Police say the suspect vehicle is a dark sedan, but may have not provided any other details.
And looking at our website tonight, Ash, what our digital team is working on. Here's an unusual one, a call out of Elmira about an emergency call about a runaway horse and buggy.
That's right, Tony, and it's no horseplay, by the way. It was late last month when two women called 911 to report a horse and buggy moving at a steady pace, but with no passenger on board. This morning, Waterloo Regional Police released the audio of that call. Take a listen.
Oh, the horse just keeps going. Like this horse.
The horse is still going? Oh.
The horse has got, like, Gold Star, it was something in another life, or I don't know, maybe he's really hungry and wants his treats at home.
The woman followed the horse until it eventually stopped and was brought back home. You can listen to the full 911 call on our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony, it's a new way of horsepower.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is true. I also feel like this is one of the only parts of Ontario where you might have a greater chance of getting a call like that. So.
Absolutely. Well, glad everything worked out fine for everyone.
Absolutely. And we have the audio online. Ash, thank you.
Thank you.
A fizzy trend has bubbled up in Guelph thanks to two sisters turning creative sodas into a full-blown brand. As we see on this week's Made Right Here, the Dirty Soda Girls custom creations are drawing lineups.
Hi, my name is Jody McCarthy. I'm with Dirty Soda Girls, and we serve dirty sodas in Guelph, Ontario. We serve exclusively dirty sodas with nugget ice, Canadian syrups, and fresh cream. A dirty soda is almost like Starbucks. It's like going to Starbucks and getting all your syrups and toppings, but we use soda instead of coffee. We have over 40 customized preset drinks on our list, as well as our DIY drinks. We do regular sodas available in zero or diet, as well as energy drinks. All of our drinks are done after Canadian song names. So every drink on our menu is a Canadian song title.
Okay, so I'm going to be making our Bob Cajun, which is our original dirty soda. We use our nugget ice, very popular with dirty sodas. Then we're going to add our coconut syrup, which is made by Simps. It's our Canadian syrup brand. We always open a fresh can of soda for every drink. And the trick is to always keep stirring it. Gets the carbonation out, mixes everything well. We're also going to add our true lime in here, like a wedge of lime. Goes in there, keeps it fresh and consistent every single time. And then we also do our coconut cream, which really makes the soda dirty. Finish it off. And then we also use our plastic straws. There's your Bob Cajun, original dirty soda.
Dirty sodas are a treat drink. I think for people, they might come in and say, I don't really drink soda. I hear that all the time. That has a little bit of fizz in it, but it's not overpowering, and it's a really unique taste that you can adjust with different creams and with different syrups that we use. We also add in a seasonal menu depending on the season. So we're just finishing up our fall menu, which had a banana bread and a pumpkin pie with caramel cold foam. And we're moving into our winter menu, our holiday menu, which is going to have a gingerbread with a whipped cream topping. And we also have another one made with eggnog. So we have some really interesting drinks coming up for this winter season. All we do is dirty soda all day. We want to make sure it's the best. And we take pride in our dirty sodas being the best.
A decade later, celebrating the legacy of the boy who moved Christmas. Coming up, CTV's Alexandra Hollick takes us to this weekend's Memorial Jamboree in memory of Evan Leversage.
Holiday set decoration provided by Royal City Nursery.
It's been 10 years since Evan Leversage from St. George lost his fight against brain cancer. The 7-year-old's story made headlines back in October 2015 when his community rallied around him to help him celebrate one last Christmas with his family. And as CTV's Alexandra Hollick tells us, a decade later, his legacy lives on.
7-year-old Evan Leversage loved hockey.
so it was only fitting the St. George community host an annual tournament in his memory.
To be here in St. George 10 years later and having a hockey tournament in his honor is quite remarkable, and seeing children his age come together and have fun.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
Evan died on December 6th, 2015, after a courageous battle with an inoperable brain tumor. In his final few weeks, thousands of people came together to help him celebrate Christmas with his family a couple months early.
Look at how many people are here.
The community has always been amazing, when Evan was here throughout his journey, but even after his journey, they continued to help keep his spirit and memory alive.
This year's Evan Leversage Memorial Jamboree features 21 teams with players between the ages of 5 and 7.
I think it's just important for all the younger kids. Like, my daughter is younger, but she still knows who Evan is. Everybody at school knows who Evan is. It's just throughout the community. Just everybody knows Evan's story.
And when the puck drops, Evan's impact isn't lost on the players.
The honor Evan.
Right. Or their parents.
Yeah, it kind of brought tears to my eyes when I heard Nicole talking, because I see my son healthy on the ice, and I just know how lucky we are.
If Evan was here today, I think he'd be blown away by the impact he's had on so many people.
10 years later, Evan's legacy continues to live on, not only through this tournament, but through the entire community. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, St. George.
And we'll have more news coming up after a short break. First, let's check in with Leanne.
Calm conditions out there right now, but we all know some snowfall is on the way to add to our snow totals here in southern Ontario. We'll break down the timing coming up in Wake Up Weather. Get cozy with the cool temperatures tonight. You can watch Tracker, followed by St. Denis Medical, The Big Bang Theory, and end things off with The Voice on CTV tonight.
Tonight, an exclusive interview with the CEO of Bombardier.
Those planes will be built. We'll need X thousands of people probably to build it.
What he said about the trade war and possibly working with the Swedes to build fighter jets. Later on CTV National News and live on Crave.
105.3 Virgin Radio is KW's #1 hit music station. Home of Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben in the morning. Listen to 105.3 Virgin Radio everywhere with the iHeartRadio app.
All right, time now for Wake Up Weather. Does tomorrow look any better than today?
Well, temperature-wise, yes.
Okay.
If you like snow, you're going to be happy over the next couple of days.
Gonna get more?
Yes. So starting things off, get outside for your morning walk early on, Tony, because conditions will be good. Mix the sun and cloud to start things off. See, as you can see, temperatures much better than they were today. It's after that 10 o'clock hour that we're going to see that snowfall move in. So probably around the noon hour or early afternoon, but we will certainly see it.
Sometimes it does pay off to get up early, I've heard.
Yes.
This is one of those cases.
But hey, if you don't mind a winter snowy walk like we were saying yesterday, it's actually quite beautiful. You just need to be bundled up and ready for it.
Bundled up, good to go. Yeah, you can make the most out of a winter day.
Yeah.
But let's talk about making the most out of our Toy Mountain campaign, because we had another generous donation a little bit earlier today that you had a chance to check out.
Yeah, I mean, today we've had a handful of donations coming in.
Steady.
Yep. I went to Goman's Appliances earlier, where that donation was made to the Salvation Army. Take a look.
We are here at Goman's Appliances in Kitchener today, which is a proud sponsor of the Toy Mountain campaign in support of the Salvation Army. And David Gadsby is the district manager and joins us here. Thanks for having us today.
Oh, thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
Okay, so this is an official drop-off location for Toy Mountain. We see your toy bin here. Yep. How has the campaign been so far?
It's been really good. We're always willing to give back to the communities that we're involved in, and we wanted to help out whenever we can.
Okay, fantastic. And we are actually going to be presenting the Salvation Army with a check presentation from Goman's Appliances today. Captain Kelly Fifield with the Salvation Army is here. And David, I will let you do the honors here.
Absolutely.
$1,500 from Goman's Appliances to the Salvation Army. Thank you so much for taking part in Toy Mountain, being a part of this, for your donation to the Salvation Army. Of course, Goman's Appliances is in the Sports World area of Kitchener. You can drop off any donations, new unwrapped toys here as an official drop-off location. Thanks again.
Well, thank you.
Love to see that. And during our 5 o'clock show, the Kitchener Rangers were here making a donation to Toy Mountain. Christian Kirsch and Jakob Kromiak came by with some of the stuffed animals from that teddy bear toss game, which happened last week.
Yeah, and this year, nearly 10,000 bears were thrown onto the ice level, collected at the odd on the 30th annual night for the event. The stuffed animals go to various charitable organizations right across the region, including Toy Mountain and the Salvation Army. So great to have the players come join us here in studio today.
So I think the community supports us so much that it's really important for us and our organization to give them back something too. And holiday and Christmas time is just so special for everyone, and we just want to give something back to the community.
Okay, fantastic. Let's also talk about the season. Jakob, how is it going for you guys with the Rangers?
Well, I think it's been pretty good. Obviously, we've had some ups and downs, like it's normal, but I think we're improving every single game, and yeah, I think especially the next half of the season is going to be pretty good for us.
Yeah, big thanks to Jakob and Christian for coming by, and to the Kitchener Rangers organization, and of course, all the people who donated those teddy bears on Teddy Bear Toss night. We take a live look at the mountain. I know you wanted to reference that.
We'll get back to that. That's okay.
Okay. Live look at the mountain that continues to build. Also want to give a shout out to our good friend Mark Saltzman, tech expert. He comes in for some segments, but he worked with Hasbro to bring some toys in to fill out the mountain as well today. So thank you to them. So many donations on this Monday.
Thank you, Mark and Hasbro. And yeah, if we could widen out, I wanted to show you the top of the mountain, because this is reminding me of King Kong climbing the Empire State Building.
Yes.
That iconic film scene, but it's just so much more adorable.
It is. It's cute. Our colleague Shelby had the creative brain behind this today.
Yep.
And,
great placement.
Good.
Great placement, Shelby. And thank you everybody for donating today. Hey, we will be back tonight at 11:30, right after the CTV National News. We'll see you then. Take care.
Have a good night.